Where to begin? First of all, I celebrate the removal of the restrictions in England. It's what I've been looking forward to for a very long time. My analysis of what's been going on in England for a long time is that Boris really has been pushed by whoever has been the bigger bully in the room. And for a long time, that was the SAGE committee, it was the medics who always said, look, you've got to close things down, and if you don't, you'll be to blame, and the public inquiry one day will find that you rejected our advice.
That's kind of okay. I mean, I object to it, but it's kind of okay.
Now the biggest bully in the room, in a way, are the Conservative backbenchers. So before Christmas, there was this vital moment where 100 backbenchers voted against COVID passports. Suddenly the balance of power shifted. Boris began to respond to the backbenchers more than to the SAGE committee, and he got through that very well. I mean, you know, things did not turn out as badly as some of those, particularly Jenny Harris was telling us, that they didn't turn out as badly as that at all. So he's now going for removal of restrictions. There's a big political risk, which is the ending of the free tests. And why is that a political risk? Because it sounds like same old Tory, that is to say, poor people won't be able to afford the tests.
£2 billion a month.
Yes, poor people won't be able to afford the tests, and poor people will feel reluctant to take time off work because they need the money. There is a part solution to this, which ministers don't mention, which is that you buy the free tests, that you obtain the free tests now, because you're allowed to obtain a packet of free tests.
And people have been stockpiling.
Well, the first thing I did when I heard the restrictions were changing was I got myself a free packet. But you can get yourself a free packet every 72 hours. Now, ministers are not advertising this, but I believe this goes on until the end of March. So actually, families will be able to have, if they're worried about being able to afford the test, they will be able to have a large number. And I dare say that charities would be able to amass.
Is this former cabinet minister advocates panic buying headline?
This is a political analyst saying how, practically speaking, this problem will be dealt with. But notice that it obviously is perceived to be a political issue because Nicola Sturgeon is doing something different.
With whose money?
Yes, a good question. I don't know the
answer to that.
I'm not entirely sure exactly where all the health money comes from. Let's hope it has some impact upon Scotland. No, of course I sympathise with the government wanting to end the £2 billion a month of the costs of the free tests. I just say that it does raise a political question. It's clear that it's a political question because Nicola Sturgeon's gone the other way, and that practically speaking, it will be slightly ameliorated and assuaged by people having amassed tests in the interval.
It's been pointed out to me, by the way, when I was indicating that Boris Johnson has the right to stick two fingers up at those scientists. I didn't actually say that. I just motioned with two fingers, which, if you are listening on DAB radio, is pretty meaningless.
But one lesson I hope will be learned. There's going to be a huge battle about what lessons should be learned. But one thing is, you never should have just a medical committee. You should have a medical committee, an economic committee, a mental health committee. So the Prime Minister says, I've heard this advice, but this advice is different, this advice is different. And he has a balance of advice. He has made himself a hostage to the medics, and the medics have always erred on the side of caution.